Alright, howdy. So today I'm just going to do a little bit of a demo video of my, why is that sideways? Anyway, this is the new Xaviere SG that I got. I got it a couple weeks ago and really haven't done much with it yet, mostly a lack of time. But I did, I did do some work on the nut. The nut when it came to me was way too high. And it generally needed a setup overall. The intonation, let me show it to you. Not sure if this is actually going to show you what you want to see or not, because I can't see. But the intonation on the bridge was, I don't know if you can see it there now, but it's basically, almost all the way to the front for nines, not the fret sharp, which says to me either it was made for much thicker strings, or the bridge itself may be a little bit out of place with regard to where it's supposed to be. Otherwise, very handsome guitar. I like the inlays on the neck. Bound fretboard, the frets feel great. Haven't had any other fretting out issues or anything like that. Did have to adjust the truss rod, put some new strings on it. Most notably, I had to do a lot of work on the nut. That was just, like I said, way too high. What I do is I popped it off and basically ran it on a belt sander until I got it down the size I want, which is kind of hit and miss. I made some approximate guesses on how high the strings were at the nut and where I wanted them to be, and then marked that off on the nut so that they were there. I had that marking to go by when I cut it, but still some hit and miss work anyway. Other than that, though, it's fine. It's a nice guitar, plays really nicely. I kind of like the crunchy pickups in it. I think I'm probably going to leave them, although I may reserve the right to switch them around later on. What I wanted to do, just kind of a little bit of riffing around today, so that you get a feel for it. I'm playing today through my 78 Marshall, the actual one, not the Line 6 copy of it. Just because this one happened to be plugged in right now. Not really a reason for it other than that. And it's set with the way I usually set it, which is a little bit extra presence over the 12 o'clock position. Middle a little bit above 12, bass a little below 12, treble a little bit between around 2 o'clock. Master volume basically just low enough so that it hopefully won't distort this camera too much. And the preamp volume at about between 5 and 6, which is where I usually use it. Now I mentioned before this amp has more gain than it should for the model and year that it is. Here's a general idea. That's what that thing sounds like on 6. So I'm just going to play a couple things. One thing I don't like about this guitar currently is that cleaning up doesn't do real well. It's a little dull. But I'm not really after it clean so much anyway, so I'll switch between the neck and the bridge pickups a little bit so you get an idea of that, but I'm just going to kind of riff around whatever pops into my head. That's the lead pickup, obviously. Here is the two together. to do the same thing again and switch between them. And then here it is on the neck pickup by itself. Not a lot of difference between that and the two together. So here's the two back together. Start out here. The neck position by itself is only a little bit more bassy than the two together. Okay, so that's about all I can think of right now.